So welcome everybody back to our virtual class. This series I thought I'd make our normal all levels flow. So maybe you're watching it on Saturday morning when we're normally together practicing, or whenever you've been able to practice. Welcome to the practice, and we'll start today actually in Supta Baddha Konasana. So to have with you, and if you want to pause the video, if you want to grab a block, if you've got a block, and if you don't have a block, maybe even a towel, a blanket or a towel, but if you have a blanket, if it's a yoga blanket, great. If not, you could take a blanket, and any blanket will probably do, and roll it up. So if you have a blanket and no block, you could use the blanket a couple ways. You can kind of treat it like a mini little bolster and lie down on it with your, it kind of goes right in the middle of your spine, and this feels so good. So you can be like this on your blanket or rolled up towel or blanket. If instead you do have yoga blocks, you could take one or two of the blocks, you can put one right underneath your shoulder blades, so the bottom of the block is kind of right in line with the bottom of your shoulder blades. And then your head can either come back to the floor, or if you have another block, or even you can use your handy dandy blanket and kind of prop your head up a little bit if that's too uncomfortable to have your head all the way down. Either way, find a spot where you feel like your heart is beginning to open, your chest is just passively opening. Allow your eyes to close. You can either have the soles of your feet together in Baddha Konasana, which can feel really nice to just let the hips begin to passively open. If that's too much on your hips or low back, you can bring your feet to the floor, to the outside of your mat, and let your knees kind of come together. That can provide a really nice relief to the low back and still lets you find that beautiful opening in the upper back, upper chest. So whatever pose you choose to start in today, go ahead and close your eyes, or if you're more comfortable keeping your eyes open, allow them to just gaze softly at a point on the ceiling. Begin to breathe in and out of your nose. Allow the softness of your breath kind of move into softening your body. So let's start maybe at the top of your head and just let the forehead soften. Let the skin around the nose and eyes just drift down towards the floor, the cheeks. Let it feel as if you're surrendering to gravity, and all the muscles in your face are just relaxing. And then take that relaxation down to your shoulders and your chest, into your lower belly, down your hips, feet. Just feel that sense of surrender. Just take 3 more breath cycles and allow your mind again to reconnect with that breath if it's kind of gone away to maybe many of the busyness of the mind. Allow the focus for the next hour to really just be on your breathing. Notice how that can serve to calm your mind and still your mind, and really bring you into a state of connection to that inner peace and calm. Despite what's going on around us, we'll take this time to just be present for ourselves. and then fluttering your eyes open. Whatever kind of prop you've been able to put under you, go ahead and roll on off the prop. And we'll move into just some core work to sort of generate a little bit of heat and awaken our core. So with the legs now back into Baddha Konasana, or again, if that is too much for the low back, you can keep the knees together like you were. Take an inhale here and then exhale and lift the head and shoulders off the floor. Inhale partway down, exhale up. Inhale partway down, exhale up. And we'll keep moving in this way to your breath. Let your head be heavy in your hands. Let the elbows kind of be wide. Inhale down, exhale up. And continue here for 5 more. And 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Hold this one up. Go ahead and lift your feet towards the ceiling. From here, we'll inhale partway down and exhale and lift. Inhale partway down, exhale and lift. And take 3 more here. Inhale all the way down, keeping the legs up. Go ahead and slide your palms underneath your hips. Inhale here. And we're going to take 10 counts to slowly lower the legs. So we'll go down for 10, for 9, for 8, for 7, for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hover off the floor. Lift your head and shoulders. Take an inhale. Exhale, draw the legs all the way back up. Taking another round of that. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower down for 10, for 9, for 8, for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hover. Inhale. Exhale and lift. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lift the legs all the way back up. Take an inhale. Exhale and draw the knees in. Go ahead and roll the knees in one direction, kind of massage the low back a little bit. And then go ahead and roll in the other direction. And then we'll begin to rock and roll up and down our mat 3 times. So 3, 2, and last one. Go ahead and cross your feet at your ankles and step on back and begin to find yourself into down dog. So as you position yourself in your first down dog, and sorry, I just need to adjust some of my clothing here. Come into your down dog, and let's let this first one be sort of a soft down dog. So let the knees be soft. Spread the fingers really wide. Draw the belly up. Let the head hang heavy. Find and root down into your fingertips. And then have that feeling of, drawing your hands together, even though they won't move. So real strong in your arms, but let the legs still be soft. So rooted and relaxed all at the same time. Breathe here. Staying in down dog for 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Keep rooting to the hands like you're pushing the floor away. As you take the next inhale, go ahead and look between the hands and then slowly walk your feet to your hands, and we'll come into Ragdoll. So for Ragdoll, we'll have our feet about hip distance apart. You can measure that with 2 fists. The sides of your feet are parallel to the sides of the mat. Just let the head hang heavy. Maybe grab opposite hand with opposite elbow, or opposite elbow with opposite hand. Inhale and exhale, keeping the knees bent. At this point, root into your feet. So maybe lift your toes and then kind of slowly lower the toes down and feel that energy really in the feet, in the earth, and then find like some lift. The arches lift up all the way into the inner thighs, and feel as if your inner thighs are moving away from each other. And when you do that, you might find there's a little more space in the sacrum. Still keeping the knees bent to take any strain away from the
backs of the legs. Mostly just let the spine lengthen here. Let there be space. Then release the hands down towards the floor. Toe heel your feet together. And maybe the big toes touch and there's a little space between the heels. And then inhale for a halfway lift. So for our halfway lift, we're going to draw the shoulder blades down the back, draw the belly up. Notice there might be a tendency to let there be kind of this C shape in your upper back. You draw the shoulders back, feel like the heart is leading. The gaze can be down towards the floor. Draw your hands to your hips, little bend in your knees. Inhale, exhale, inhale and stand straight on up. And then open up into mountain pose. Inhale and exhale. And we'll move through a couple rounds of Sun A. Again, really more to match our movement to our breath. So begin to feel the flow, find the flow that is there for you today. Inhale up. Exhale and draw the energy through the heart center, bow forward. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, let's step back to high plank and let's just hold this one for this time through. So draw the shoulder blades down the back, really press the heels towards the back of the mat. Feel the tailbone move towards the heels and the tip of the head move towards the front of the mat. Inhale here. And let's all lower to our knees for this first one. We're going to lower all the way down to the floor. Want to hug the upper arms into the upper body. Release all the way down to the floor. Uncurl the toes. Let the shoulders again release down the back. Kind of draw the shoulder blades together. Inhale for a mini cobra. And exhale. Let's for this first one just release back to child's pose. So finding some more breath here. Maybe some more length in the low back. Remaining in child's pose for a few more breaths. Taking an inhale and an exhale. Another inhale and exhale. More inhale and exhale. Inhale on back up to all fours. Curl the toes under. Curl the tailbone. Exhale. Down dog. Breathe here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise to your tippy toes. Exhale, step or float. Feet to your hands. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. Little bend in the knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Just going to turn this music down. Just move through a couple more rounds here. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, swan dive, leading with our heart. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, let's step back to that high push-up again. This time lower to the knees. And exhale to chaturanga, so halfway down. Shoulders are at elbow height. Inhale and scoop open, maybe to cobra. Cobra will have a little bend in our elbows. Exhale, cups all the way back this time to down dog. Now remember, you can always take a child's pose if that would feel good at any point in time. Inhale, really press into your fingertips like you're pushing the floor away. Lift the tail. Exhale at the heels. Release more towards the back of the mat. One more inhale, rise to your tippy toes. Exhale all the air out and step or float your feet towards your hands. Inhale, find that halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. Little bend in the knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Let's take one more on your own. Moving to your breath. This chaturanga, you can either come back down to your knees or stay off your knees. Just notice where you need to be tonight. And then maybe there's an inhale all the way to an up dog. Exhale. We'll meet up and down dog. Inhale, rise to your tippy toes. Exhale, step or float your feet to your hands. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. Little bend in the knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Exhale into chair. So I'm just going to turn so I can talk to you guys. Chair is actually our pose of the week this week. So as many of you know, I like chair pose. I don't mean to do a ton of them, but I probably do more than I intend. So for this week, we'll do quite a few of our chair poses. But in this first one, let's let the shoulders release down the back. Draw the navel up. Take a little peek down to your toes. So we really want our knees going, they're in front of our ankles but behind our toes. So if they're way in front here, you might notice that I can't even really do that, but kind of keep them so you can still kind of see the toes. So sit a little bit more into the heels, and that might also let the tailbone sink towards the floor. Maybe even press the palms into the thighs. Notice how that might let you kind of move the low back out a little bit, back into that kind of arch, that kind of natural curve in your spine. Draw the arms back up. Inhale, maybe sink deeper, and exhale, bow forward. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, step back, and we'll take that chaturanga again, high push-up to low push-up, but remember, knees are always a cool option here. And then inhale to perhaps full up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. So we'll move through a sun B. We'll step the right foot through, spin the back heel. Allow the inhale to rise on up to warrior one. So let's pause in warrior one. Root down through the outer edge of the back foot. Draw the front hip back. Take another inhale. Exhale, draw the energy through the heart center and step back either to down dog, or if you want to take your full vinyasa, the high push-up to low push-up. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. And we'll take the second side. So left foot steps through, back heel spins down. We're kind of heel to heel alignment. Root down through the legs and inhale and rise on up. Find warrior one on the left side. Just move in a way that allows you to start to open the hips more towards the front of the room or front of your mat. Really root down through the outer edge of the back foot. Inhale and rise up. Exhale. Energy through the heart center and step back again. Either down dog, take your vinyasa, take a child's, take whatever's going to work for you this evening, and then we'll all meet up either in down dog or child's pose. You sort of decide, taking a couple breaths here. Inhale and exhale. If you're in down dog, really root down into the fingertips. Find yourself pushing the floor away. If you're in child's, begin to make your way back into down dog. Inhale and exhale. Take another inhale, rise to your tippy toes. Exhale and step or float your feet to your hands. On the inhale, we'll take a halfway lift. The exhale, we'll bow forward. Great. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, back into chair. So second chair. Let's take our hands to our heart center in this one. Still rooting more into the heels as you move your hips kind of back. But on this one now, let's go ahead and lift our heels up and let the hips sink a little bit lower. Inhale and exhale. Keep lifting the heels. Take another inhale. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, step or float back. Find your high push-up to low push-up. Inhale, find an opening to up dog. Exhale, down dog. Taking a couple breaths here. Inhale and exhale, maybe letting one of the exhales out through your mouth. Take another inhale. Take an exhale. On an inhale, let's let the right leg rise on up. Go ahead and open the hip. So start to stand your foot on the ceiling, open the hip. Remember you're in down dog, so sometimes the tendency here is to let the upper body kind of relax down. Still push the floor away. Lift the heel. Take another inhale. As you exhale, draw your knee in close to your nose and then step that right foot closer to the right thumb. We're going to set up for high lunge. So really root down through the feet, lift through the inner thigh of this back leg, and then inhale and rise on up. Inhale and exhale. Feel like you're drawing this right knee forward, inner thigh of the left leg back. Take another inhale. Take your hands to your heart center on the exhale. Inhale, find some length in the spine. Exhale, go ahead and find a twist. So, prayer twist. You can stay right here with the arms in a prayer. If that's uncomfortable or a little more than you want to do tonight, you can always take the left fingertips to the floor and let the right arm come to the ceiling, or even keep it on your hip. You decide what kind of variation you'd like to do. Whatever you're in, take 2 more breath cycles. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Wherever you are, draw your gaze back to the floor. Begin to get light in the back toes and start to slide the left foot in to meet the right. And we'll come into chair twist. Again, drawing the elbows down the back, pressing the palms together. Inhale and exhale, sink the hips a little bit lower. Inhale back to center, exhale, sink deeper. Inhale, stand it straight on up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Great, let's start to move through the second side. So inhale to chair. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Begin to lift the heels, maybe sink the hips a little bit lower. Take another inhale, lift the heels more. Exhale and bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or float back. High push up to low push up. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. On the next inhale, let the left leg rise. Bend the knee, open the hip. Really push the floor away. Take another inhale. Exhale, draw the knee in. Step the left foot close to the left thumb. Lift through the back. Inner thigh. Really root down through both legs and inhale. Rise on up. Oh yeah. Take the hands to the heart center. Inhale for length. Exhale and go ahead and take your twist. So as we're twisting to the second side, pressing the palms in together. Maybe instead, if you want to take the hand down, you can do that. Drawing this left hip back, squaring the hips. Wherever you are, take 2 more breaths there. 2 more full breath cycles. Inhale and exhale. And then wherever you are, draw your gaze towards the floor. Begin to get light on the back toes and step that right foot in close to the left. Coming into prayer twist. Again, sinking the hips low, pressing the palms. Inhale and exhale. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Inhale and stand straight on up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Great. One more little variation of chair I thought we'd do. Go ahead. Inhale to chair. So I should talk through what is chair. Utkatasana is the Sanskrit, and it also translated into thunderbolt or fierce pose. So we're going to come into what's called turbo chair. Hinging at your hips. Notice how that draws a little bit more energy into the pose. Inhale and exhale. Take another inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart center and find prayer twist again. And you might find that it's a little more accessible when you kind of move from that turbo chair. Now we're going to kind of back up what we just did. So draw your gaze to the floor. Get light on your left toes. Step the left foot back. Find high lunge. Take another inhale. Exhale. Inhale back to high lunge. Exhale and open it up. warrior two. Find that front knee going out towards the baby toe side of the foot. I'm just gonna shift around so you guys can see me a little bit better. I can talk right to the camera. Shoulders release down the back. Finding the outer edge of the back foot. Inhale and exhale. Flipping the front palm, inhale and reverse your warrior. Exhale. Inhale and lengthen all the way through that right side for you guys. Open it up, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, find triangle. Remember triangle, we're gonna square our hips, square our shoulders. We're gonna stay strong in our legs. Lift through the low belly, lift through the knees. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and on back up and exhale back. Warrior two. Take another inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the arms down. Step back and find down dog. Pedal it out a little bit. Take a vinyasa if you'd like to, or stay in down dog. We'll all meet up in down dog. Taking one more breath in down dog. Inhale and rise to your tippy toes. Exhale, step or float your feet to your hands. Inhale for the halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. Little bend in the knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. And last time through, exhale, find chair. Taking your hands to your heart center. Inhale, find some length in the spine. Exhale, and go ahead and take your twist. So sinking those hips low, pressing the palms together. And then drawing the gaze. Oops, I forgot turbo. Hold on. Turbo chair first. Reach forward for turbo chair. Draw the hands to the center and then take your twist. So yeah, actually doing it right next to each other, you might notice you're able to get a little deeper into the twist. Draw your gaze to the floor and then slide the right leg back. So you come into crescent, prayer twist. And then inhale, high lunge. Exhale and open, warrior two. I'm just gonna switch so I'm getting even on both sides. So drawing this front knee forward, shoulders release down the back. Flip the front palm, inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen all the way through the side. And exhale and open. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, open triangle. Again, really rooting down through the feet, lifting through the knees, opening through the heart. Finding your breath. On the next inhale, standing straight on up. Exhale it on back, warrior two. Inhale here. Exhale, cartwheel the arms. Step back to down dog. Maybe take a vinyasa, a high to low push-up. Moving with your breath. And we'll meet up in down dog. Or, of course, feel free to take a child's pose. Inhale and exhale. If you're in child's, begin to move back to down dog. Inhale and rise to your tippy toes. Exhale and step or float your feet to your hands. Inhale, find the halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Exhale to chair. So for our next little version of chair, we'll move into standing pigeon. So begin to get light, your toes maybe on your right leg, root down through your left. I'm mirroring you, but whichever side you do is fine. And then begin to slide the ankle up the calf and have it come right on above the knee. And your ankle is on the outside of the knee. You're gonna still find that really nice seated position in chair pose. So you're like sitting on your throne. Flex this top foot, Stay strong here. Inhale and exhale. And you can stay here, or an option is to actually kind of nestle that elbow right into the crook of your foot and even release your hands to the floor, kind of crook your toes around your upper arm. Come into a really deep forward fold. Inhale and exhale. Beginning to come out of the pose, bending the knee, coming back into standing pigeon, unlatch the leg, stand it on up and open. Pausing in mountain, finding the rootedness, the groundedness here, finding your breath before we move to the second side. So we're going to inhale to chair. We're going to exhale our hands to your heart center. So now we'll take the second side, getting light on the toes first, kind of sliding that foot up, and then you kind of resettle back into chair pose. Easier said than done. Back into chair pose with this ankle to the outside of the knee. Flexing that top foot, sitting the hips back. And now an option here, if that's not working, I should have showed you this on the other side. You can keep your foot on the floor. So you can come here. But if you can slide it up, it's a little deeper pose. And then you can take the elbow kind of nestles into the crook of the arm. Maybe the fingertips reach towards the floor, really kind of grabbing that upper arm with your toes. Breathing. Beginning to come out of the pose by bending the knee, coming into standing pigeon, uncrossing the legs, standing back on up, and opening it up. Let's go ahead and do tree. So spinning your toes out, and again, you can keep your foot on the floor, slide it up to your calf or above your knee. Really root the two pieces together. Remember, this is your bandha, your foot into your calf or your upper thigh, and your upper thigh or calf into the foot. So both ends pushing together, and you can mirror that with your hands pressing in together to the palms. And then maybe interlacing the fingertips, maybe drawing the arms up, staying super stable if you can. I'm a little shaky tonight. Draw the elbows closer to the ears. Maybe let the gaze move up towards the ceiling. Inhale and exhale. Release the palms into your heart center and release the foot down. Take the second side. Spinning the foot out. Draw again the foot up to the calf or above the knee, if that's better for you. Finding your stability first in the pose. And then maybe branching out, right? Interlacing the fingers, drawing the arms up, allowing your gaze to settle in on some point that's not moving. Find that stillness. Maybe the gaze begins to move up the side, the wall, maybe all the way up to the ceiling. Inhale and exhale. Hands back into the heart center. Foot back to the floor. And then open it up. So come on back to the top of your mat. We're going to take a flow down before we start to move down to the floor. Do a couple more things. So inhale up. Exhale and swan back down. Inhale, take your halfway lift. Exhale, step or float back. High push up to low push up. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to down dog. We're going to move into side plank. So let's inhale to high push up. Let's all lower your right knee to the floor. Draw the shin of the right leg out to the side and then open to a variation of side plank. So we'll start in this version first. Outer edge of the back foot is really pressed to the floor. You're really pushing away from the floor. Inhale and exhale. Now you can always stay right here. Or as you really press away from the floor, lift that bottom leg up and stack your feet. Or you can scissor your feet. Inhale and exhale. Take another inhale. Open up the exhale. One more inhale, lift the hips higher. Exhale, down dog. One breath in, one breath out. Having a little faith, inhale, high push up. Let's take the second side, lower down to the left knee, let that left shin spin to the outside. Line up your outer edge of your right foot, kind of almost arch to knee. Really press away from the floor. This left arm, lifting the hip, staying right here, or sliding that left leg out underneath or in front. You decide. Really pressing away from the floor. Feel light on top. Strong thighs. Maybe an opening on the inhale. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high push up. We're going to slowly lower down to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release all the way down. Turn your head to one side. Take a little rest. Draw your forehead back to the floor. We'll move through Salabhasana. So lifting your legs one at a time. Really press the tops of the feet into the floor. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, lift the head and shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Take another inhale. Exhale, release all the way down. Turn your head to the other side. Move through that again. So forehead to the floor, lift the legs one at a time, draw the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, lift the head and shoulders, lift the hands, maybe lift the legs. That feels good. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale. As you rise up, exhale, allow the arms to come in front. Let your forehead rest on your wrists. Kind of shift your hips back and forth. Moving to one more back bending. Drawing the palms right alongside the shoulders. We'll move into cobra and then full up dog. You can always stop along the way. So we'll start pressing into the palms, drawing the shoulder blades down the back, draw the elbows like towards the midline of the body, and then start to push yourself like a cobra. So you're like a little snake. You're peeling off the floor. So this is one version of like mini cobra. If you want to continue to push away from the floor, think less about drawing your shoulders back and more about opening your heart. So keep the elbows slightly bent, keep moving the elbows towards the midline of the body. And then if you want to move into full up dog, you're going to press into the tops of the feet. And as you do that, the body almost moves slightly forward. The heart moves slightly forward. And then press into the fingertips, draw the shoulder blades down the back. Really press the floor away. Tendency in up dog is to let the shoulders kind of come up towards the ears. You want to press them away from the ears. Take another inhale. Exhale, back to down dog. Take a breath in. Maybe a sigh out. Release down to your knees. Go ahead and cross your feet at your ankles and roll on back. So if you have a strap handy, that would be great. If you don't have a strap but you have a towel, you could use the towel. And again, if you have a block, let's keep the block handy. If you don't have a block, but you've got your rolled up blanket you used, you can use that. A few props. Okay, so for this one, let's start by just releasing back to the floor slowly. Again, engaging the core as we lower back, down. We did a little core work already, so it's nice and warm. We'll do a little bit of opening for the hamstrings and then the hip flexors. So we're gonna thread the strap around the ball, big toe ball mound, the kind of ball of the foot. Slowly extend, ball of the left foot. Slowly extend the right leg, long. Inhale and exhale. And now remember, it's less important to have the leg straight up and down. More important to actually have the knee straight. And so if that means your leg is down here, that's totally cool. If you can draw it up, that's great too. But do it in a way that allows your upper body to be relaxed. Now if you don't have the strap or you don't have even a towel, you can interlace your hands behind your thigh or behind your calf if you can reach that high. So whatever kind of allows you to just create a little bit of leverage. Inhale and exhale. We want the upper body though to be calm, okay? There's not like a tug of war here. The leg isn't pulling away, the arms are trying to pull it towards it. You're just sort of softening, letting the back of the hamstring soften. Inhale and exhale. Taking both ends of the strap in the right hand, take the left arm out to the side, take an inhale. And then as you let this left leg kind of move to, let's say, 2 o'clock. If you can, let your hands kind of slide down the strap until your forearm is on the floor. I'll show it to you on this side. Your forearm is like that on the floor. So it's propping, it's really holding the leg up. You're going to feel a really nice stretch in that IT band area. Inhale and exhale. Great. Now as we start to release a little more deeply into the pose, and if you don't have the strap, you might just be holding your leg up, even the inner thigh. As we start to move deeper into the pose, you're going to take this bottom leg and bend it underneath you and start to kind of scoot yourself over so you're actually on your right hip. Now what I'd like is if you've got a block or some type of prop, set that down outside as you let the left leg come all the way across. And you're kind of on that right hip. And I'll do it this way so you guys can see me. I just realized that. Going over here. So I've got my block here. I'm really just kind of on my hip and letting the leg kind of rest here. And you know, maybe it's down, maybe if you've got a block, of course it's really cool because you can change the height. If you have this towel or something that you rolled up, this could work too, especially if you can kind of fold it in half. You could use this as a little bit of a prop. There's something just to rest your leg on, so it's not just hanging in space and you're holding it with the strap. Inhale and exhale. Then give a little bend to this left leg and draw it back in. Roll back onto your back. Kind of unlasso the leg. And we'll take the second side. So we're going to lasso the ball of the foot. Extend the left leg down. Inhale and exhale. And again, let the arms come all the way down. Let the upper body be nice and relaxed. Straighten through that leg. Inhale and exhale. And now you grab both ends of the strap with the left hand. The right hand will come out to the side. And you'll take your leg again to about, now it'll be like 10 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock. But you know, just kind of past center is where, right when you start to feel that outer thigh, outer hip area start to have some sensation, like hold that. And again, this left elbow can come to the floor. Keep flexing through that heel. Inhale and exhale. Then as we start to move deeper into the pose, again, you might want your block over on the side to sort of help catch your leg. Or you know, if you had that chair or something, you could rest it on your chair. So take this left leg underneath you, kind of scoot your hips so you're actually like all the way onto the side of your hip. And you just sort of let the leg come to the side and it kind of rests on the block. Just gives a little bit more ability to release through this outer hip. Might feel a little bit more in your glute. Inhale and exhale. You know, you have time, you can press pause and kind of play around with it. You find a position that gives you a little bit of release, maybe a little bit of sensation still. Inhale and exhale. And a little bend to that knee as you draw the leg back up. Draw both knees into your chest. Give yourself a little back massage. Let's move into bridge pose. So again, if you've got a block or your little rolled up blanket, that might help. The first couple bridge poses we'll do unaided. So the feet are about hip distance apart. Roll the shoulders underneath. Inhale and begin to lift the hips off the floor. Keeping your gaze on the ceiling. Let there be a little bit of space between your chin and your neck. So notice if you draw your chin in, let the neck be in a little bit more of a neutral alignment. And maybe you can shimmy the shoulders underneath you. Maybe you can interlace your hands, really press the floor away with the feet. And then just be aware of the tendency to really grip the glutes and like that kind of pushes that low belly up. Let the glutes soften a little bit. Still push the floor away with the legs. You'll feel it a little bit more in the thighs. The glutes are still engaged. They're just not clenching. Breathe here. Inhale and exhale. Two more breaths. One more inhale. As you exhale, slowly release down one vertebrae at a time. Take one breath in and one breath out. Let's take another bridge. Inhale, come on up. Maybe shimmy the shoulders underneath again. Interlace your hands. You might notice you can untuck your pinky and get a nice kind of flat surface there. Now, if full wheel is in your practice and you want to practice full wheel, I'll talk you through that tonight if you'd like to try it. You can draw your hands up alongside your shoulders. You're going to lift your head off the floor and just rest on the crown of your head to start. Keep drawing the knees together, draw the elbows towards the midline of the body, and then begin to push the floor away. Now, that's one stage of wheel. If you're down here on the crown of your head, you can stay there, or you can stay in bridge. Wherever you are, taking two more breaths. One more inhale, and then slowly release down on the exhale. Taking a breath in, and a breath out. Let's come into one more bridge pose. This will be our supported bridge, so you want to have your support nearby. And if you don't have any support, you can also use your hands. I'll show you how you can do that. So, inhale and come on up. So first we find our bridge pose. And then as we start to move into supported bridge, you can take the block, slide it underneath you at your kind of low back at whatever level sort of gives you, that feeling of, I can just, this is our hip flexor opener. It just lets the hip flexors open passively. Now, if you don't have the block, you can try to use the blanket. If you can really kind of tuck it up pretty tight, it might be enough. It's a little squishy, but it gives you something. If instead of the blanket, you want to use your hands, you're going to put your upper arms on the floor, and you'll kind of cinch your thumbs underneath you, and then you'll let your body release there. This is a little more intense and certainly not as restorative or relaxing because you're actually holding yourself up, but it gives you that opportunity still for sort of that passive opening in your hip flexors. So whichever pose you chose, and if none of these are working for you and you want to come back to Baddha Konasana like we did at the very beginning, that's another option too. So just kind of rest in this pose for a few more breaths, whichever one you're in. Inhale and exhale. Again, one more inhale. If you're in supported bridge, sliding the block away and slowly lowering down. And let's move into an inversion. So for Viparita Karani, we'll extend our legs up to the ceiling. You can stay right here. Again, if you've got the block or even the blanket could work on this one. You can roll your block underneath your hips, probably at its lowest level, and have a little more height there, a little more of an intense inversion. A couple other options are actually to move into shoulder stand. So you wouldn't need the block. You could use the block, actually. You can take the block up a little higher, get it positioned right, and have a little sort of a supported shoulder stand as you get started. Or as you start to move into shoulder stand, draw your elbows underneath you, place your palms at your low back, begin to draw your legs up as you really draw the shoulder blades together. So you can't really see that as much, but you're kind of drawing the shoulder blades together. So there's more, it's shoulder stand and not so much neck and head stand. And then really press the toes towards the ceiling so you're strong in your legs. Breathe in here. In whatever version you chose. So whether it's shoulder stand or Viparita Karani, breathing. If you're in shoulder stand, beginning to move out of shoulder stand by bending your knees, moving through plow pose, maybe the toes touch the back behind you, slowly rolling down, and we'll all meet up in Viparita Karani. Then our counter pose to that inversion is fish pose. So letting the knees bend, lowering the feet one at a time to the floor. Now if you're in Viparita Karani and you have the block underneath you, you're gonna lift up off the block and slide the block out of the way. And then place your palms where the block was. Kind of like with your hands, kind of like in a diamond shape. And then extend the legs long. Point the toes, sort of roll the shoulders underneath you. Press into the palms and the forearms, and then bend the elbows as you sit up to look for your feet. Look for your toes. Point them really, really hard. Start to draw the heart towards the ceiling, and then let the crown of the head release towards the floor. Slowly release down, getting a little foot cramp up, so I'm coming down and point my toes, but hopefully you can keep yours pointed. Slowly roll down, and then draw the knees into the chest again. Give yourself that little back massage, rolling the knees in one direction, rolling the knees in the other direction.
And then if there's any poses you'd still like to do, you can always pause the video and do any poses. You might feel like a happy baby pose, holding onto the outsides of the feet, letting the low back release towards the floor. Can feel good. A variation of happy baby is to actually take your hands in between your legs and then hold on to the outer heels. And that kind of lets those forearms almost open the legs even further. So you can stay in happy baby for a little while. You can take a twist if that would feel good. So drawing the knees up and then moving to one side. Inhaling and exhaling. Remember, if there's any strain in this outer shoulder, you can draw this arm closer to your body. You can even take this outside hand here and let it rest on the top of your knee. Twists are so healing. We did a lot of twisting tonight with the chair pose and high lunge. And then if you're in the twist, you might draw the knees back into the chest and then set the feet down on the floor, and as you take it to the other side, you scooch the hips to one direction and then draw the knees in and across. Again, this outside arm, I call it, the one away from the knees. Maybe draw it closer to the body and let this head rest on the outside of the knees. The gaze can turn away from your knees or up to the ceiling. And then draw your knees back into your chest as you're ready. Again, with the video, you can always pause it and stay longer in any of those poses. And then we'll start to move into Shavasana when you're ready. So if you want to grab your blanket or any kind of clothing, can feel good to put on you, begin to do that. And you'll begin to make your way into, and if you have an eye pillow, that's nice too. Or even a towel to put over your eyes if you're in any way that's a little more lit. So as we start to move into Shavasana, we'll take our feet out towards the corners of the mat. We'll let the upper back release to the floor, let the shoulders release. The arms come to the outside at about 45 degrees with your palms up. Let your eyes close. Let your body settle. We'll feel it supported by the earth. From the top of your head, the back of your head, the back of your shoulders, your upper back, your lower back, backs of your legs and your heels, backs of your arms, and then your backs of your hands as your palms and fingers start to relax. Feel the space soften again like you did at the very beginning. All the muscles in the face soften, the jaw, forehead. Very gently, just beginning to invite some movement, starting with your fingers and toes. Deepening your inhalations and exhalations. And drawing your knees into your chest one at a time. Rolling over onto your right side and all the way onto your right arm. Resting here. This pose of rebirth. And then using both hands, gently push yourself up, returning your face to face the floor as you gently move into a comfortable seated position. Allowing your wrist to rest on your knees, let the shoulders release away from the ears. Feel the rootedness into the earth and the light and spaciousness in your spine. I thought this evening, or this morning, whenever you're doing the practice, you close with a version of the loving kindness prayer. So drawing our hands to our heart center. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be happy. May I be free. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you be free. May all beings everywhere be safe. May all beings everywhere be healthy. May all beings everywhere be happy. May all beings everywhere be free. Drawing our thumbs to our third eye, inhaling and exhaling, the light in me bows to the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you for practicing and sharing the practice. Namaste.